My name is Les Brown. This is Mamie Brown's baby boy. And we thank you so much for joining us. Today we're talking about happiness and a study that shows that how we feel about ourselves, the level of happiness that we have or don't have, determines how long we live. Now, isn't that interesting? And so the question is, are you happy? And if you're not happy, what's holding you back? What do you think that's the source of your lack of happiness? What is it that you think that could perhaps, if it were to change, it will make things different for you, that you would be happy? Is it your relationship? Sometimes relationships can be very draining when you are dying together rather than growing together, or you're with somebody that's angry, that's negative and toxic, and it can weigh on your mind, it can weigh on your spirit, it can age you. I saw a friend of mine, and she said, do you remember me? And I said, your eyes look familiar. She did not look like the same person. And when I met her husband, I knew why. This was a very kind and gentle person, and she married, I don't know what this was. I mean, first of all, it was an interesting thing. This guy was a very pleasant person. He presented himself very pleasant, but boy, you can tell that there was something under that. There was something behind that. There's some people who can be the most positive people in the world in public, but buddy, behind closed doors, living with them is a living hell. And it can rob you of your happiness. It can drain you. Children can do that. They can age you. They can bring years on you overnight. Want to talk right now on line 2. Hello, Adam in Long Beach. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great here, and so are you.
I'm blessed.
Listen, tell me. I want to know. That's a good thing. You said I'm blessed. When you say that, you said what? First of all, can you hear that echo that I hear?
No, sir. I got my radio completely off.
Okay, so you don't hear the echo. Okay, I'm just hearing the echo myself. Wow. Okay. All right, then. Good. All right. Thank you so much. Then I'll just ignore the echo. But I want to know from you when you say I'm blessed, that means to me that you're also happy with your life. So what do you attribute that to?
You know, for me, it's a lot on perspective. It's completely on perspective and attitude. I live life with no regrets. You know, I mean, I could be unhappy with my childhood. I could be unhappy from where I came from. I'm also an Iraq War veteran. Mm-hmm. So, you know, just going through that and being able to come home and survive that and seeing that, you know, we live in, you know, the greatest country in the world with some of the greatest service members in the world.
Yes.
And, you know, just so blessed that, you know, I'm here, I'm alive, and, you know, I really, you know, am able to put, you know, anything into perspective. You know, it's, you know, life is precious, life is amazing, and,
but you know something, Adam, that you're not the majority, unfortunately. That the majority of people, unfortunately, don't feel like you feel, don't acknowledge the blessings and all the things they could look at that you just mentioned that you could have a spirit of gratitude about because of the way that some people just take certain things we have for granted. But you found a way in order to do that. I want to know, how do you deal with the challenging situations in your life? What is it that you do to hold on to your happiness when you run up through the challenges of life?
I try to you know, I maintain a level of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, you know, I'm very close to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus and I are on such a deep level with our relationship to whereas I consider him my best friend.
Okay.
And you know, I understand that you know, in between heaven and hell we have what we call earth. And earth is here as the balance between heaven and between hell, which are the two extremes.
Yeah, but I want to know, apart from the religiosity, I want to know, what are the tools you pull on when life puts some knots on Adam's head and Eve is not around? What do you do, Adam? I mean, do you pray or do you work? Do you complain? How do you handle when you have some things to overcome? How do you deal with them?
I smile.
Okay.
I smile, and I figure out what it is that I could learn You know, whatever situation presents itself, how could I learn from it? What could I extract from it as a teaching moment? And you know, so
that's good.
I mean,
okay, but let me ask you this, and I'm glad you call in, because I want to know, when you have something that happens to you, and it does happen to all of us, that will wipe that smile off your face, what does Adam do then?
Thank God I'm alive.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing.
I think
yes.
I'm alive, you know?
Yes, and you can deal with it, and there'll be another way in which you could come back and handle it in a different kind of way.
I'm my own best friend, so
yes.
I'm very confident. I'm very comfortable.
That's good.
I take myself out to a movie, I take myself out to dinner, and I'm very comfortable with who I am. I love me. You know?
And that's a good thing. And obviously, do you talk to yourself as well, Adam?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I tell people, talk to yourself, because it might be the most intelligent conversation you will ever have.
It has. You know, I tell people all the time, I say, you know what, do me a favor. When you go home tonight and it's just you in the mirror, give yourself a little smile. You know, smile at yourself. I do that all the time. You know, I smile at myself and say, you know what, at the end of the day, you know, everything could just be taken away from you. And
yes.
Where are you going to be left with then?
You got that right. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for calling in. We're going to get some other callers. I appreciate you calling, and thank you so much for listening, Adam. Continue to smile. And listen, now, I invite you to call. The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. We're talking about happiness. A study indicated that people who are happy live longer than people who aren't happy. They followed 5,000 university students for more than 40 years and found that those who were most pessimistic as students tended to die younger than their peers. The question is, what's holding you back? What's blocking your happiness? What's zapping your energy? Is it your relationship? Is it your job? I know people who are depressed and in a negative state of mind because they don't like their job, or their spouse, or their children are getting on their last nerve. I know about that. Or some people don't like themselves. They'll just don't like themselves. And they're people because of the experience, because of their upbringing, because of things that have happened to them in the past. It has done something that they don't have a sense of self-love and appreciation for themselves. Want to know about you, and how do you feel about you and your level of happiness? If you measured yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in that? I want to talk to Susan in line 3 in Riverside. Susan, you've been dealing with an ex-husband, and you say who's found inner peace. Tell me about that.
Yes, I find inner peace within myself, kind of like the bull in a bullfight, where they find their little area and become calm, which then produces their strength. And it's inside of you. It's just like walking in the forest, and you feel the silence and the peacefulness and the calmness, and it gives you power. You're able to touch your points that you did not know you have.
Okay, Susan, hold just a minute. I want to get this. I want to get some clarity on what it is you're saying. We've got a break for a commercial, and we'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere, okay? Hold on for just a moment. Listen, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about